Well, we did say that game number 1 could be our hot match of the week, but unfortunately, Inferno, it's a bit of a cold front as we see NiP. They are handed their 4th loss of the season from Astralis. Not the greatest of matches to open up for NiP. Gentlemen, 16-6, a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah, seems like hot match of the week references the map, you know, Inferno, top banter, yeah. Top banter, good content right here. But yeah, unfortunately for NiP, they got off to a bad start. Astralis winning the pistol round. Yes, NiP wins the first 2 gun rounds, but still that's not enough for them to have full hold of the economy. Astralis manages to break them yet again. You can just see how good Astralis is. Having a clear game plan, having different things they can go for, some faster executes towards A. They were also capable of slowing things down and going towards that B bomb side. And also Draken not really finding a lot of openings until the very end.
Yeah, on the other hand, you have Caribou and Dupree, they were hitting plus 25 combined, so that helps a lot, doesn't it? But you just tell that Astralis just has much better pacing, as Janko was alluding to there on the map. They feel much more comfortable. NiP is still just trying to figure it out. How do we hold on CTS? It's a lot about, obviously, the fun and banana is one thing, but also when it comes to the A-bomb side, how do we hold the choke points? What is the point in time when you want to turtle back, play maybe 2 in pit, and just hold off the attacks from there and out? But yeah, as you said, like only winning the two gun rounds in the beginning of the game, and then you're giving the full control to Astralis again. It's a tough ask to get back from that.
Is there anything in particular? I know it's a big question to ask, but I mean, you mentioned that sometimes we didn't see certain players stepping up to the plate. What you mentioned, we could be coming into this and really making a map presence and awareness of themselves. But are there any big things you can take from NiP that they specifically could have done better in that match?
It's the early fights, really, for me, is a key factor, a key component there. When you're most of the time a man down after the initial fight, it's super hard to hold off.
Yeah, I think also Astralis just did a better job of adjusting in general. Sometimes NiP made good plays, getting control of banana, killing a player there, right? But that's when Astralis, realized, okay, they're putting a lot of emphasis on banana, maybe sending 3 players there, let's go for a fast A hit, and that breaks NiP yet again. Also doesn't help the fact that Rez only got 5 frags, and some of those were exit frags as well. So not really a lot of impact from him, but as we said, we both favored the Astralis on this map.
Yeah, it's back on the drawing board for NiP, really. It doesn't seem like Inferno right now is one to go for when it comes to them. So, yeah, they just need to figure out what's... it usually is harder than what it seems like. It seems like, oh, it's simple. You just find the right pacing, right? But it's a lot about the natural flow of how things start going.
Well, we'll see if they can get back into this one in our second best of 1. But before we get into that, our friends over at Betway, they caught up with Exist from NiP. Take a look at this.
Hey guys, this is Exist from NiP. I'm gonna do 20 questions with Betway. Enjoy. I don't think I will be good at stand-up comedy, so I don't think anyone would pay anything for me to do it. I think we've been like the core player of us. We've been playing with each other for maybe too long time, but Forrest can be a comedian and sometimes Getright's doing some crazy shit. I mean, I don't think I have like a go-to joke. Sometimes you just find some fun jokes and yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any go-to jokes. So. The first superhero power that comes to mind is maybe like in invisibility or something. Then you can like sneak around and yeah. I think the first movie that comes to mind is The Lion King. It's really like touchy feelings and yeah, it was really cool when I was a kid. I think I prefer Sonic. I think I played it a lot more than Mario. So yeah, probably Sonic. Edward Norton. My Asus laptop. I actually studied like IT and programming, but I thought that was really boring. So it wouldn't be that. I haven't really thought about what I would do like besides CS actually, so I don't know, probably something with computers, but I don't know exactly what department. I think I would probably kill Getright. Why? Because why not? I would probably kiss Cease from Navi. He's got that baby face going, I would probably marry like Forrest or someone. I think he would take care of me. I think I'm the one that takes the longest, but besides me, maybe Draken. The biggest diva in eSport is Getright. Well, I think I would stand the biggest chance against a bear, because at least then I can run away. So bear. No, I cannot. I won't even try. Then I will get lynched on the internet. Forrest likes to rage quit a lot during practice. Probably sometime during practice when Forrest got mad if he got killed in a weird place or something like that. I try not to eat so much sugar when I'm playing, because I think I like get a big down from that eventually. I think the best thing is probably like a banana or something like fruit, or drink a lot of water as well. The last text message I sent is pretty boring. It's actually a shipment from DHL. I just had to answer yes, so they deliver my package from Nuke. Actually, fans haven't asked me for like awkward stuff. I know people ask for like Forrest hat and stuff. I think people just ask for like t-shirts and stuff like that. I think it's pretty weird when they ask you for a t-shirt when that's the only thing you're wearing, so yeah, I really hate spiders, and we got a lot of them here at the headquarters sometimes, so that's not a good combination. I think the best player in the world is Coldzera. I think he can do it all. He can op, he's really good with nades, and everyone knows his like spray downs, and his aim is great. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe there for more.
And welcome back to the Intel Esports Arena. Now, my mistake, I think previously I said handed their 5th loss. It was actually their 4th loss, but it could be their 5th loss as we now move into the 2nd best of 1. Gentlemen, we have to be quick here because I believe the casters and the players are just about ready. Let's get your initial thoughts on how you think this one's going to go down.
I don't care if Chad's ready or not.
I agree.
I mean,
who cares about Chad?
Chad's the golden boy, so he's always ready when it comes
well,
to
he's like
work.
a Boy Scout around here, isn't he? This matchup and Nuke brings me back to 2015 to Katowice. Astralis was known as TSM at the time, and it was a quarterfinals of the IEM tournament, or ESL one. I can't remember which one it was actually back at that point in time.
An ESL tournament.
The ESL tournament. No one really cares which one. Just jump at jokes. But anyway, yeah, on Nuke, there's this moment where GetRight was just, he jumped from the silo on top of the main roof and then jumps off and headshots mid-air Tech 9. Device was behind that CT red, and that really turns the game around. So, but yeah, I mean, going to today, 2 years later, obviously, you know, different scenario of teams are in a very, very different situation in that sense. I feel Nuke is definitely a map that NiP can play, but so does Astralis. So this could definitely be, I think, a lot closer than what Inferno was.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd expect a closer game. This is probably where NiP is more comfortable, especially on the T side. They have a deeper playbook. They have a good understanding of the map, good understanding of the rotations. And we saw for some reason Astralis wasn't willing to pick it in best of 3s in Malmo. So maybe this is a way for them to get some practice in on the map in an official environment.
We're about another 60 seconds away from starting this one. Just really quickly then, out of NiP, if there were one person you were looking to really step up on this map, who would it be?
Dragon.
Yeah, him because of the AWP, obviously. And I will look towards Forrest on the T side, right? Because when they have some of those low economy buys, they usually hand him the AK, and he's the one who needs to find the opening. And we know how those low economy buys are often the crucial ones that turn the tides of the game. So yeah, and also I like Forrest, so I'll go with Forrest.
Who doesn't like Forrest?
True.
Well, we'll find out if the casters like Forrest as well. I do believe these guys are on the line. Pansy, Chad, how you? Well, a bit of a better intro compared to last time. Obviously, kind of threw you under the bus a little bit there. But game 2, how are you looking forward to this one?
Analysts stop talk. That's the first thing I have to say. Second of all,
come on.
I think Astralis are going to win.
Pulling a Jason over there.
Yeah, I like changing roles. Astralis are going to win very quickly.
Yeah.
There you go, then that's the best analogy we can see. Well, I'll tell you what,
pretty much.
I'm just going to leave you to it. Enjoy this one, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys at the desk. And nice of them to flame you a bit.
Yeah, Golden Boy signing in.
Yeah, you are. You're a bit of a kiss-ass, aren't you?
Wow.
What? In the best way,
Is there a good way to be a brown noser?
I didn't go that specific. Said you were just... Right, Nuke between these two. Astralis and NiP. So we've already heard there's a bit of history between these two on this map specifically.
Yes.
What are your kind of thoughts coming into this matchup? What are your kind of key things you're looking at?
For me, it doesn't really matter about the matchup in terms of what we've seen out of these guys versus each other in the past. It's about what we're seeing tonight, and we're seeing a very assertive, very decisive Astralis, and that's what I want to see coming into this CT side. As it looks like 5 members are quickly buying up armor here. A smoke, a flash, and a nade is the only utility we've seen, and that's on the Ts. coming to you by Mr. Draken himself, the boy who has to step it up, and he's going to use that outside. It looks like he wants to get across towards the red crate here and try and take some jewels, but that Glock is not the ideal weapon, and Kirby has a better pistol in hand.
Does he?
But he got binked. We say binked in Australia.
Binked. That's adorable.
Yeah.
But what isn't adorable is the fact that actually NiP just lost down the 2 players who are probably meant to split down through Secret. Now, great victory there for Rez, taking down Device, but you're down to a 4v3. The plan's pretty much known here. Glaive as well, getting so much information. Doesn't land anything, but he knows what's happening. Kirby's still going to get played into this too. Exist. Gonna find 1. Okay. 2v3. Now, basically, Astralis just don't feed at this point. There's very little real estate fully up for grabs here. You've got Astralis kind of keeping tabs on where they can go. Dupree's a little alone here, which could cause a problem if they do get control of Crows. But there you go. Support's not too far away. Dupree going to position for this again. Exist is the one with the bomb. Get right. Now going to have company up on that outer catwalk.
They're going to try and pinch the top here. I think Garrett will try and jump into Annex where possible. And Exist is going to come late through the ladder position. Zimnix is very far away from this rotation, but I like the position here from Dupree, being very sneaky, set up a good crossfire with Glaive, who has his hut and squeaky door. Well, no, he doesn't. For some reason, he's looking in that direction, which Dupree was already having covered off. And he should just really sit in the corner of the vent. He can cover the hut then. Dupree doesn't have to panic too much, and he can also watch up towards ladder. But it's not going to be the way as both Ts are ready to pounce.
Yeah, here we go. Exist already going to drop down. They don't know where these players are. Dupree's holding his nerve as well. Going to wait for the bomb plant. There it is. Oh, that's lovely from Dupree. Perfect patience and plays out beautifully. So
easy as you like.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice intention from NiP. I like a little secret split. Always nice. Not so nice when you don't win the outside fight.
Banana splits are better.
Yeah.
All right, so UMPs, 2 Famuses on the Astralis side and a force spike coming out from the guys from NiP. Scout on Rez, which means to me he's probably going to want to take that duel towards the outer section of the map. A couple of Deagles as well can support him for that long-range fight. We are seeing Rez outside with that Scout right now. Draken with a Deagle. He's been dangerous with this before, taking a fight towards ladder. It looks like a very turtle, a very defensive setup coming out from Astralis early, and Kirby's going to find one from behind that overpowered aircon position.
Not a fan?
No, I think it's good. I
It's
don't think it's played enough, to be completely honest with you. Device whiffing, he's going to take one, but Exist with a quick little trade there from the silo. And now, you know, the Ts, they've found an opening here, but it's going to be very difficult to get into this round unless another frag is gifted their way. Nuke is a map where the CTs can lock down the choke points with ease because they're quite small. Outside is the only real open avenue, and so far so good for Kirby.
Yeah, you can see Get Right's trying to find that little bit of an avenue of approach, but there's very limited amounts here in this, so again, not going to be easy for him to find a way in, but just going to give it a go. Zimnix adjusting as well. Brilliant at holding these solo spots. If he does get support as well, it only becomes stronger, which he should be getting from just beneath Crows. A little bit of an off angle on this means they have to kind of get a little deeper towards it. Exists, though, another one to add to the head count for him. That's 2 this round. Now we're down to a 3v3, and this gets a little bit more uncomfortable for NiP. Excuse me, Astralis.
The problem is the clock is definitely not in the favor of NiP. It looks like they're going to have to commit to this ramp push very soon. 24 seconds left on the clock. 2 players at Megaton ready and ready to go. And Dupree, he's ready to pounce from the window side. Flash will come in, but he steps in front of it. He's going to get the information, but not a frag. He needs to convert here. It's all the players are in limbo. He's going to open up Squeaky Door. He's going to get that kill. He's going to stop another player from NiP in their tracks, and it looks like the round is all going to be wrapped up for Astralis here. As a gut dicey there, Lauren, you were right. Things got a little bit interesting off the back of Exist's Deagle. I can't really speak.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
We're aware there are a couple of technical issues at the moment that people are working through, so don't panic too much. Hopefully that'll be fixed up nice and quick for you guys.
Yeah, we got Yanko. Yanko's in the server room right now. He's trying to fix everything up the best he can.
He's cracking the whip.
He can only do so many jobs at once, ladies and gentlemen.
That is very true. But this round should be somewhat of a little bit of a curb stomp.
Oh!
Maybe not. Exist. That Deagle is getting a little dangerous. I wouldn't say he's the guy I'd look at either if you know to get Forrest on one of those, or I don't know. We've seen the new Youngbloods really bringing that sort of firepower, but this Exist back in a bit of form, it seems.
Are they like a rap group, the Youngbloods?
Is that a joke? Was that a joke there, Chad?
Didn't land, unlike Exist Eagle, but Zipnix from Warehouse taking 2 frags, taking a duel with a player up there on Silo. Gonna get a lot of damage done. It is Forrest. I don't know how much he's gonna hope with the Glock from that range, but Glaive will finally come up behind him, take him down, and get right. He will get a kill. It's a nice consolation, nice $300 in the bank account. We'll take an M4 away from them, but Exist, here's that frag again. Here's the highlight there. That's a very nice shot. I definitely think he's been working on that Deagle.
It actually looked pretty decent on Inferno as well. He was actually bringing...
Astralis have two. Can you hear me?
I can hear you really well now.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yanko's really working hard, isn't he?
Yanko, you're a beast. All right, let's hope all is okay.
He works hard for the money.
He does, he does. Kirby might be the man to hear this all as well. They actually, NiP have got a lot of room to work, but Rez getting, he's going to make a lot of noise from that too, actually, so they're going to hear all this happening. Draken does find Zipnix. We're down to this 5v4. NiP still retaining the numbers, but Astralis is going to make it really uncomfortable down here. So with Device running this spot, I'm hoping someone else joins him maybe, or they try and create that little crossfire. I'm not sure if he needs to yet. Dupree's still on the case. Now he comes through, but they've actually been able to gain a lot of ground here. And with the last three, Rez, Forest, and Exist, they're looking for a couple of kills to maybe open up an avenue back into this.
Uncomfortable's that buzzword, Lauren. I think we have to really run with that one as right now things get really awkward for the side of NiP. You pointed out a couple of the issues they have to go up against, but the fact that they get that kill early and then it gets traded back so swiftly, and now they're basically stuck under. They're committed to this, and Device about to be a heads-up duel. Almost gets 2 kills there, but Forest will find his first, and they might be able to get onto this bomb site. But as I say, that Dupree from the vent, a snake in the grass. He's going to be... Whoa! All right, Forest. He's feeling sharp. The old boys are definitely awake. They're back in their home environments, ready and raring to go, hitting some crispies.
But Forest is down to 10 HP, so it's like a little bit of a limited lifespan, but I like the positioning. Bomb planted for him. Glaive, though, so quick to get into position. Actually, Forest left that spot to come back to another. Maybe to support Rez, who's now in the 1v2. Back to the bomb, and he can't get it done. Kiebi's going to come through. Defuse will come out. And Astralis again putting themselves in the right position here. I've got to say, credit to 2 players, at least in my eyes, that I've seen so far. Exist has been a very big difference maker, at least he was on Inferno. He seems to have turned up a little bit here. Those Deagles look good. And Dupree's been putting up numbers. It looks like he's the guy to bail them out of when things get a bit tricky, when they started to get the kind of control. So NiP then kind of... I guess I throw my mind back to what got me really excited about Astralis on this map, right? It was them punishing rotates, right? It was them taking over secret control, punishing any rotates that came from it, especially against Virtus Pro for a while. Any other teams on this map specifically, they were very good at it. And it seemed like maybe NiP wanted a bit of that. You know, get the map control, try and punish it on trying to get down there, then, you know, maybe split back up. So many opportunities, but for me, I'd say Astralis are very good at that. So I hope we see it on the T side, but this is, you know, seasons ago now. They don't necessarily play that style anymore. There's still many opportunities for them to show us something new, but yeah, I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of NiP here, because they're getting close, but the problem is, again, it doesn't matter how close they're getting, it's rounds on the board they need.
Inch at a time, round at a time, any given Sunday.
Are you just saying phrases?
Yeah.
Have you gone to scoots on me?
Yeah. I like phrases. Anyway, they are going to scrap together a buy here. They took the tactical timeout and they've opted to go for the gunnies. So we might have a plan in here. We might need to set executors. They are setting up the smoke wall once again, and it looks like that secret control is definitely on the menu. You're right. Rotations are the key to Nuke, and you need 2 of them to set off those bombs. Oh. Down the vent is Dupree again. He had a lot of impact from this position last round, so let's see if he can do it again. But it looks like NiP are posturing, and they want to maybe go for a late top attack here. The outside smokes have gone down, and now they're going to attack the top bomb site. So they just wanted to force out a rotation there, Lauren.
Yeah, let's see how it works. See if there's any rooms, any gaps, anything left in this. The bomb goes loose. The Zipnix does rain in fire from above. Already taken out Rez as Glaive waits for his moment to spring into action, but he gets just about bested. Dupree certainly did his best to take him down as well, but it does seem as though NiP are still putting up a good fight here. 3v3 numbers retain, but the problem is Astralis does such superior weaponry. Exist just working with that CZ, but he has already got a kill with it, bear in mind. And Draken now going to try and tip the scales again. Just about maintaining that dominance. Bomb's still not planted, but look at this split coming in from those upper rafters. Kirby could be in trouble, and he knows it. He's trying to adjust, but would you expect it at this point? Let's look at Forest hunting him down. He's the headhunter that we know he can be. Claiming Kirby's going to alleviate some of that pressure, but time is ticking.
Most of these situations where Astralis have found themselves having to clutch, they've been able to convert, and Device is put in that position once again. Forest on 34 HP. He's about to meet him head on. Walking into lobby, gets taken down, and now Device has a one-on-one situation against a 14 HP Exist. A massive advantage for him right now. Not only that, Exist has the AWP in hand. Not a weapon he specializes with, but one shot is needed, and the low HP kind of works in his favor now. Device knows he's isolated to that bomb box. He knows he couldn't have snuck across to the hut unless timing was picture perfect, and Exist is going to finish him off there with the AWP. And that's a round on the board for NiP there, Lauren. I'm struggling a bit. I'm casting blind.
There you go, Chad.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
I can cast with vision again.
It's okay. We're working on it, boys. We're working on it. It's all good in the hood.
Hashtag work in progress.
Story of my life, isn't it? You'd think by almost 30 you'd have maybe got somewhere, but
are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about myself, Chad.
Jeez Louise. All right.
I wouldn't drop you in like that.
Astralis have opted to punish the economy of NiP. They've gone for the buy here. They have 3 pistols, a UMP, and the AWP on Device. That's the weapon you want to see in his hands. And he's going to rotate around to stop this secret control, and Exist is going for it once more. And the AWP in this part of the map can be very effective. That nade's going to land at his feet, do a bit of damage there. If they can get this kill, that's a weapon for Astralis, and there it is. Easy as that. Easy as she does it. That's how you want to use the orb. Now rotate him around, put him somewhere else on the map and look for another kill. NiP now have to question, where is he going to move to? Is he going to stay under? Is he going to rotate back to top? But ramp is the place, and he could find himself in a heads-up duel with Drake in any minute. This
was always what we loved about Device. The fact he can be so versatile. He has so many strings to that bow that he can just pull on when required. Now, Draken, how's he going to play this? Is he going to be expecting this? It looks like that ramp hit's coming through. Device has to deliver again. They bait him in, and Device still wins out. 3 more players trying to make it through. He holds his ground. He backs away at the last second, plays in the rest of his team, and now look at it, splitting them up. Molotov's going, burning them alive, but Rez will find a way through. Exist goes down, but look at the damage at this point. Forest low, Get Right low, Rez, all right, he's sitting okay, but you're still against 4 other players.
That was a bit of insanity coming out from Astralis there. They really wanted to take that duel, but get right with the AWP. He's going to find the head of Dupree, and that could be the cracking open for the A bomb site.
Yeah, it really could be. It looks rather likely too. They're going to build off the back of it, and you've got Forest operating as well in a different level, taking out Device. Glaive, though, where has he just come from? Was he up in the rafters the whole time? I didn't actually see him. Again, that could be a huge oversight. It's down to Forest. He already struck once towards the vents, but he's already adjusted off the back of it. You've got Kiebi and Glaive now. No, not got a kit on them either, so that could be a factor coming to this Forest. Eyes up the rafters, maybe expecting a player there. Going to hear the drop. He knows one is down now, but where's the other? Can he find it out? Oh, he's going to hear the vent, but look how low he is. He tries as much as he can, but Kiebi is there, and they're not going to let him get away with it.
We assume the defuse is coming in, and I think it will be.
Yeah.
It was kind of close. Kind of close.
If you say it with enough confidence, Chad, no one will question.
We can make anyone believe.
That's it.
And that right there, that plant could kind of force NiP into a position where they think they need to go for another buy. And the reason behind that, Lauren, the analytics in this situation is the money is not fantastic on the side of Astralis either. So if NiP opt to buy, they're able to scrap together, getting 3 kills and a bomb plant again. They keep them honest. But it looks like they want to take an eco. We're on another. Well, it is another tactical pause.
Yeah, but and you can always imagine the temptation for NiP, because everyone will say Nuke is essentially a battle of full utility or not. The CT side does get Molotovs, nades, everything else. It's so hard as a T side to get anywhere, do anything fast. You get super limited, super quick. Now, if NiP can disrupt that, all right, there's your avenue right back in. It can spiral very quickly. If that money gets broken, you can be in their heads. And we've seen the perfect T side from Astralis themselves doing this. This was something they said about their T side in last season when they were really running through on Nuke. But for now, their money's in an okay place. Enough at least to pull off this purchase. Now, as I said, if NiP were able to maybe disrupt that, we could have seen something interesting. But here we've got lots of smokes.
Smoke wall, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's got to be. Bit of armor on Draken. Oh, Forrest, did he just mess up the jump?
Yeah, it's all good. I don't think time is of the essence in this round. Basically, the idea once more will be to throw those smokes, force out that Astralis rotation, then hope they can get a cheeky plant coming in at some point. They have upgraded a few pistols, so if they can make it a bit of a skirmish, if they can force Astralis around the map and they can confuse the players, the Danes, then they might be able to get some kills. And speaking of kills, Gerard doing a lot of damage right there into Dupree, and he's going to push into the hut. He really wants his frag.
Surely Dupree's not going to let that happen, but he's still playing so close to this. You've got Glaive right next to you. Device finding Forest. This might be the encouragement almost that Get Right wants. He just wants to get there at the right timing. But yeah, this has been a shutdown thus far. Dupree going to make that Mag 7 work as well. So yeah, this has been a clean sweep here. Nice intention from NiP, but again, sadly, you know, good intentions or not doesn't really matter. Again, you're starting to look at this scoreline and you want to start building rounds into this. They've had a couple of close moments that have come down to clutches that have generally gone Astralis' way. We've seen that, you know, relatively on a regular basis thus far.
I don't like to make generalizations.
Well, would you say that they've been winning the clutches through on Inferno?
Yes.
Then it's an accurate generalization.
I'm pretty political, Lauren. I like to keep it PC as possible. Device swinging outside with AWP. He's going to lock down this section of the map, and we're seeing aggression coming out from Rampik. Get right, pushing through the smoke. He's going to find the head of Zipnix, and this is a very early opening for NiP. They have this key section of the map right now. This is going to force their rotation. Device is going to move back from the yard. He's now going to cover off towards ladder base / ramp. And it looks like we might be having things slowing down. There's no need to rush into this for NiP. They have the part of the map they need. They want Astralis to over-rotate. They want them to doubt it.
Sure, what they don't have, though, is any utility. They literally have 0 now left on NiP, so it's going pretty well considering. You got Device on the back foot and he can't get away. Legs swept from beneath him as Kiebi's your last man alive for Astralis. This is a very all-encompassing round from NiP. This feels like it's just been pulled out of the back pocket. A little bit of a different approach here. Maybe that aggression on ramp truly working out.
I understand that you need utility, Lauren, but if you employ the getting the 5 kill strategy, you kill 5 people in a round, that one works.
Is that a generalization? That if you have 5 alive and you kill all the others, it's always going to work, Chad? Is that it? You don't need utility for CS? Chad,
that's a fact.
What's going on?
That's a fact.
That you don't need utility in CS? My word, Chad. Bold statements from the Australian.
Analyst.
But yeah, I guess if you kill all the other players, Chad, you don't need jack all else.
And that's what NiP did. I don't think they can replicate that time and time again, but what it will do, Lauren, is keep Astralis on their toes. Once more, the smoke wall is being set up for Device with the AWP in hand again. He's scoping towards the hut, but there you see it, landing outside Kirby, just babysitting that area, throwing some nades, doing some spam, a little bit of damage onto Rez, but it looks like they're just setting Rez up here to lurk, just to feign that control, hang around the red box, maybe head over there before the smokes dissipate. Depends on the end goal of this round, but once more it looks like with the positions of the players, they want to go for this late top pounce. Once they force that player to rotate, which is Dupree, he's under right now, he's throwing that utility, you can see him with the X-ray, they have weakened the topside defense.
Dupree responding accordingly. You can see there comes NiP. So quick, very decisive. Kiebi's down. Get right. Sweeps through the site as well. It's all theirs for now. This is beautifully done. The only hindrance last time was, I'm pretty sure, Glaive up in the rafters. He's nowhere nearby this time. Of course, he can't do anything. He's already down. But the point is, the 3 remainders from Astralis are locked out here. And NiP have pretty darn good off-plant positions.
Astralis probably have to save in this scenario. They're not going to give away too many kills the NiP side. As I say that, Dupree going to find Rez overextending and Device finding Forest. So it still looks like they want to save. Dupree's still hanging around Secret, and Zipnix and Device are going to go hold hands in CT spawn. Try and hold on to those weapons. But the question is, do NiP want to chase them? They have enough money in the bank to go for this, so taking the weapons out of the hands of Astralis is key.
Get right, and Dupree could be the ones in the fight here. You'd argue Dupree might have the advantage at this sort of angle, but
it is CSGO where people moving for some reason do have the advantage, and we're going to see that pop out.
There it is.
Dupree looks away at the wrong time, but Get Right strikes like a viper. Tss. Like sound effects?
That was awful.
Yeah,
thanks for
that. Pretty good. It was pretty good. But now NiP are on a spree of rounds.
Do you know what I like, Chad? Is when the pause come in after you make a really weird statement, and then there's nothing else to go to, so everyone's there like, right.
Yeah.
It's all good. I like that, Chad. I like that a lot.
I'm bringing diversity to commentating.
The white male brings diversity. Glorious.
I meant because I was Australian, but...
yeah, that is true. That is true. We've got Mitch, I guess, but he's run away to Overwatch.
Don't speak to me of him anymore.
Of the dead. He's gone.
The traitor.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Sold out for better flights and more money. What a git. But this is the resurgence of NiP.
We call him a drongo.
See, I don't even know if that's offensive.
No, it isn't.
It could be like a really horrible
No, it's not. It's not. I would never say. I've never sworn on broadcast. Someone prove me wrong. Anyway, Astralis force buying into this round once more. They want to keep their foot on the gas here with that saved AWP from Device. He can get a lot done with it. We've seen him getting those picks, but he might need to assert himself a little bit more aggressively in this round. You know what? I want to see a JW-esque hut push.
Oof. Oof, you're asking a lot of these people, Chad. I don't know if that's even something we could have happening here, but NiP, what they're bringing to this is the secret walk. Smoke wall up, And away they go. Get some control, punish the rotate. See if they get this. That's perfect, but Zipnik sprays in. Good connect towards Rez, but not a kill, but a 1-for-1 trade and a lot of information. You're not going to ask for much more than that. And now dupreeh strikes again. Viper or not, he does the work. Backs off, finds a new angle, calls for support. And NiP now in a bit of a predicament. How do they break back in? That's how. Geralt getting a kill out of the control room, but dupreeh is still there. He's taking down anyone who tries to pick up that bomb and take it towards the site. He will be perpetually a nuisance, and even does great damage towards Geralt. He softens them up, makes it viable for the rest of his team. But where is the rest of his team?
They can take their time now. A lot of utility on Device and Glaive. So even if the bomb does go down, this retake is very viable. They can block off the choke points with the smokes and Molotovs, flush out any terrorists. But Device going to get Geralt pushing through the smoke, trying to take a risk there, give them that much-needed number advantage in this post-plant scenario. And when I say post-plant, I mean post-post-plant, because the bomb isn't even down yet. But Forest, he's on point tonight. If he's seen him hitting some good shots, if he can grab that bomb, if he's able to plan it and give himself a new timer to work with, he could have a chance in this round.
He's got, what, 30 seconds, just under now. Looking for the opportunity. He knows roughly where they are. I guess you still got Glaive being a bit of an unknown quantity because he could have moved by now. But bomb recovery is the first step. Hearing these steps will encourage Device. And as you said, still utility, can still deny time. And the vents is the first step in the right direction. Forest, he's opened up that window of chance. With a couple of seconds left, make it 1 to spare, he gets the bomb down. And now we're in the 1v1, Device up against Forest. High flash comes in, Forest baits on the shot, peeks out, knows where he is. Second flash comes out, he peeks it early. Such individual prowess from that man. And he's going to get the round. An integral one at that as well on the board, because look at the money now for Astralis.
I normally praise Device for knowing when to not have an AWP in hand, and he changed it out there at ramp. But then he's gone back to the AWP for the retake, which makes even less sense, and because of that, he has to take the duel with the pistol. Sure, Forest wasn't on a lot of HP, but it just wasn't the right call. And now they're on Eco. So bit of a blunder there. Glaive in the vents will probably put the blame with him because that was a big whiff. He may as well have just let Forest run away at that point once he had actually choked the initial duel. Because if you go for that swing out, Forest is just going to hold the trigger down. Sure, maybe you think you're going to delay enough time, but in that scenario, just jiggle peek and make sure that he's still there. You don't need to commit to that fully. And as I talk over last round, this round is already done. And we are seeing enough money on the side of Astralis to get a buy happening here as NiP grow ever closer.
Weird phrasing.
Yeah, I don't think I mean grow ever closer. Get ever closer?
Get.
Yeah.
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 The big thing for me is you can still get those Molotovs up, you can still get the nades. As long as that's still with Astralis, I still feel they're in a fine spot here again.
Well, that's CT side in a nutshell for this map. I think that utility, which you already touched on, is so important on this one.
Ooh,
it's important on lots of maps. But these are the bunny hops we see him getting off there, and he does take the duel. Neither Device or Draken are going to land, but Device is staying around, being a nuisance, takes down Forest. Glaive finding one as well, and now dupreeh, the Viper, ready to strike again.
This time, charmed. Not going to get away with it. Exist. Working his way forward. Looking for that next victim. Not sure if he's going to find anyone actively, but as soon as they try and play for that plant or get to the bomb site, that's when you'll encounter those next 3 players. Rez there's the punish on the rotate. As soon as Device tries to play around the back, get down secret, try to find a way around. That's where the problems begin. And Glaive's now wondering, well, that's kind of thrown a spanner in the works, hasn't it? Zipnik isn't even that close towards lower, so NiP in full control this round. Foot on the gas still. Waiting for that plant to come in. Still got plenty of time to play with as well. No need to make a rush.
Speaking of rush.
What's up with rush? We.
You're right, there is no rush. As NiP just taking 20 seconds to not do a lot. They already had this map territory, but now they've regrouped. As a squad, they're going to make their way under enough utility here to potentially cut off 1 or 2 rotations from the CTs, but Zipnik knows something's up. He's poking and prodding around. He's having a look. He's seeing what's up, and the windows will be broken. The sound cues are there. The clock means it has to be under, and the CTs are rotating in.
Oh, there's almost 12 seconds left. I'm kind of worried that NiP have left it this late. I know it's going to be fine. I almost fully, wholeheartedly believe it'll be fine. But there's a second that I get worried that you take down the bomb on the cross. You do something just to throw that little bit of a problem in there, and it can all spiral. But still, it's kept in check. And what was your thoughts about rush there, Chad?
I was just playing chicken with you, and you lost.
What? In what way did I lose, Chad?
Verbal chicken.
Oh, do you mean like just leaving
All right, so the money situation right now means that Astralis are able to do a bit of a mix buy. That's why we see the shotgun coming up on Dupree. He hasn't lost his mind here. Just the money bonus means coming to next round, they will have enough. So this risk is calculated. That's why you see these deagles, and one of those deagles is going to go down straight away. As Forest hitting another lovely shot, but he's going to come into contact with Kirby right now. Sitting on the catwalk, off angle, taking down Forest, 4-on-4 situation, and they know that outside has been completely dominated by the teasers. NiP continue to push into that warehouse part of the map.
Yeah, and with Exist getting a kill towards Zipmix, it's looking less and less likely. As Kiebi's position now noted, praying for one of those shots to land, and yeah, prayers aren't answered. There's now 2. Dupree, the man who took, you know, a little bit of a heavier purchase, but as said, with money the way it is, it'll all work out well. And Draken dropping the orb. I guess not allowing it to fall into enemies' hands, and he should be able to jump back down and gather it. So, yeah, nice risk Nice risk management from Draken.
Do you think it's the Copenhagen water as to why we can't speak?
There's a lot of reasons why I can't speak that I don't want to talk about on air right now. Just, you know, let's say, you know, the server conditions are fine.
Yep.
Our conditions, subpar.
Anyway, NiP have finally taken the lead in this game. Looks like they can have a chance here to take control of the rest of this half. AWP in Draken's hand again. He's not afraid to get up close and personal.
Device was alright though.
Yeah, he was just running down ramp. He was just having a good time running down ramp there, but utility is going to be displaced from the side of Astralis. Glaive putting down a very aggressive smoke. Means he can get into hut. Means they can maybe play a bit of an attacking defense as Device. That's where he was going. We just got a little bit of a preview as to what he was thinking early in the round, and the number advantage in the favor of NiP. But when they have been able to get a little bit of map control, they have been able to make these clutch situations happen. This time things have really fallen in their favor on Nuke.
Issues aplenty. NiP with only 4. How are they going to make this one count? Flashes come through. Dupree is pretty blind for a second or two. There's a chance someone slipped through, and there it is. Get Right tried to make his way out, but Glaive was far too aware. And what on earth was that movement from Forest then? Just sliding in off the back. I know you can kind of edge off the side of the little bit of an aircon unit that can do very nicely.
It's a roller door.
It's a what? It's a little, I mean, the bit that sticks out a little bit further.
Yeah, it's like the roller door. That's where the roller door goes up into. But Glaive, he's going to find Exist, and now it's a 2-on-5 situation. Lauren knocking over the set, but Forest, he's going to knock over Device as he finds him in the back, and it's a 2-on-4 scenario right now. They know ramp is open. They know they can take that avenue of attack. They know they can get into that lower bomb site, and there is a smoke which they can plant in.
Ifs, buts, and maybes, Chad. It might not be enough here. Forest looking to do anything he can to alleviate some of the pressure. Oh god, that's not how you do it. Dupree's going to punish him for that sort of mistake, and now time is a problem. 7 seconds remain, no bomb plant to be seen, and Draken surrounded on all fronts. Glaive puts him down, and Astralis keep those numbers a little more even now.
They have a chance here, you know, to get this 8-7, but it could fall either way because the money situation on the last round doesn't really matter. We have a lot of money on the side of NiP. They can buy whatever they want. They already have all that weaponry. Kirby has a dropped weapon, so he can get himself a little bit of utility there. Opted for the decoy to spend up all his cash money. And this is the round who's going to decide who's going into the second half with that 1-round lead. Sorry, Lauren, this is the important part, is the fact that they've been able to take secret control, and that's where they've had a lot of success. So they're going back to that. I don't know how Astralis are going to stop that because they faked it a lot. They've gone down with a couple of numbers from time to time, and it just doesn't seem like Astralis know when it's a fake or when it's not. But Drake can boost it up on the red crate. He's going to find Device rotating once more. And they do have Yard and Secret under their control.
Yeah, lots of control here for NiP. Again, this is them doing what Astralis like to do to others. This is nice from NiP, but I think Draken might have seen a bit of the shadow, maybe not. There's a problem now occurring on the outside area. Kiebi is very close by, and you can see the flashes coming out. Kiebi still wants to be a threat, be a problem, but Zimnix on the support now comes through. Astralis fighting back into this round. Doesn't want to allow NiP to run away with it, but you're into 3v3, and numbers look well with NiP at this point as Forest now gets into the action, winning the fights. But as soon as they try and hit the side, there's still Dupree in their way. But left, right, and center, there are threats, and it's down to the 1v1 after all of that mayhem going on. And an incredible amount of skirmishes. It's just Rez and Zipnix alive.
You wouldn't be mistaken if you thought you missed all the action there, because that all happened super quick. We didn't catch a lot of it ourselves, but Zipnix 10 HP in the hunt versus 100 HP Rez. The problem for Rez is he has to plant the bomb, and that sound cue will be enough for Xyp9x to know where he is, whereas Rez will have no idea where Xyp9x is playing from. Knows something is up here and has 2 flashes, and he can always opt for that fake plant. But he is taking his time. He's running out of time, even though I've just said time, but it is time to plant the bomb.
Rez actually going to win the fight in the end as well. Xyp9x not able to connect clean enough at the very end there. But all said and done, this was a far more competitive match than the first one. A far greater half as well. 8-7, really keeping things together. And I am hoping we get to see more of this coming into the second half. NiP currently retain the lead. 1 round advantage, but we know Astralis can play that T-side like champs. And that is what we're going to be waiting on. Welcome back, ladies and gents. We are waiting for this one to start off. At 8-7 on the half here, though, NiP putting up far better numbers, a far greater game than I expected. After that first map, there was a bit of a blowout. They've certainly turned up play here on Nuke, and yeah, well, I want to see a bit more of this, Chad.
Well, our experts definitely said that they were going to look better on this map. They had a more structured T-side, and we've definitely seen that come through based off a lot of secret play. And once they got down there, clutches tended to fall in their favor. Forest with a lot of big rounds exists with the Deagle early. Even though it was just some flashy kills, they weren't actually winning the rounds based off that. It was great to see, and it's good to see NiP fighting back on this second map. Like you've said, cliches aside, this pistol round is going to really push one of them into a really early lead here on Nuke.
Now, my eyes turn to Astralis on their T-side more than I look at NiP on their T-side. I've seen that NiP have a lovely approach, it seems. Quite robust. They recovered well after having a bit of a deficit at the start of the game, obviously to retain a lead now. Now, for Astralis, I've always liked their T-sides, but I don't know if it's still up to par. We'll have to have a look now and see what they come in with for today's game, of course. But at the moment, NiP not doing anything too different, too crazy, but Astralis, on the other hand, doing a bit of a lineup here over by the silo. Device has the bomb as well, showing a lot towards ramp. He's making a lot of noise towards ramp, and this is the Rap coming in here. They are making a lot of pressure happen. Draken's going to get into this. Already going to find Device, but Xyp9x going to fight back, and the problem is the bomb's been recovered. So again, NiP don't get that little bit of a benefit, but now where are the rest of Astralis going?
They cascaded over silo there. They took yard control early, but they're taking that duel with Geralt, who's stuck behind the blue box, and he's going to go down. Now we have a 3-on-3 situation. Glaive going to find Exist in transition, and now Rez, could he strike in the back right now?
Yeah, these positions have almost inverted. It's really strange, but somehow Xyp9x is finding shots that are very impressive to land. He has picked up himself a USP, so that's not so surprising now. But you're down to Forest, and we all know that Forest can do some, let's say, impressive things in these rounds, but I won't speak before it happens, as the bomb will be planted, and he's in a 1v3. Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Glaive on the receiving end of some of that classic ability, as dupreeh and Xyp9x now put on notice. A little bit more worried, a little bit more tentative, but can Forest locate these players? In that smoke is Xyp9x. He sprays in, basically, tapping away, wanting that connection, and now it's the 1v1. dupreeh up against Forest. And where's Dupree in all this? Is he going the long way around? Is he looking for other opportunities? Forest is holding this down. Dupree playing out of the vent. He has to take the fight, and he does. Well played by Dupree, but it did look pretty good for Forest for a little while there.
Hits those shots, makes a miracle round almost happen. Didn't have a defuse kit. If he did, he probably would have had it when he was sitting that defuse. So unfortunately, he couldn't get it off GetRight's dead body. But what was key to that was Xyp9x was able to pick up the smoke when they did kill GetRight in the yard. They'd already used those towards Squeaky to make them think there was a vent rotation early. That played into, I think, that NiP aggression where we did see Rez coming up through Secret. We did see Forest up on the silo, and as you said, those inverted positions. So there was definitely a lot of confusion by the strategy of Astralis, and NiP fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And then that smoke, that one that they were able to salvage, was used to plant the bomb in. And you could see Forest knew Xyp9x had to have still been in the smoke because he rocked up in plenty of time, sat on top of the bomb box and waited for him to step on out. But the 1v1 by Dupree, very lucky in the end there, like I said, that he didn't have that kit.
Could have been a really different story, but
third tactical timeout right now from NiP. They've taken these a lot. I guess these are high. Yeah, well, it says tactical timeout ninjas in pajama remaining 1, which has meant up to this point they've used 3 because you get 4 pauses, 30 seconds, and they've opted for the buy. Every time they've gone for one of these pauses, they've always decided to buy coming out of them, which means they're really contemplating where this could swing the half. And at the moment, 8 pieces of each. Astralis with 4 UMPs, a smoke. Will we see similar as Inferno, where they went for that very tactical, very smoke execute heavy approach? And it does look like as the wall of smokes outside will come out, a grenade is going to land at the feet of Glaive and do 48 damage. That's quite a good grenade, and the spam of the CZ is going to follow up with a little bit onto Dupree. But Exit's going to get caught with his nade out here if he's not careful. Smoke will go down. It's going to delay that T rotation.
God, that was the timing on that was a little scary. Dupree though finding room, playing back out from Secret. Again, this is what I like about Astralis. They like to punish players trying to play to them. Getting Secret control is what used to work for them. So I'm hoping we see further versions of that now with deeper play behind it. You've got to be careful now. There's still 4 players up with upgraded pistols and a touch of armor here or there. It's a certain ability to play, but how much room will NiP be given to be able to get back in this round? 5 alive still, of course, for Astralis. That full AK as well up in Xyp9x's hands. Kievi's going to spot one out towards spawn. Going to claim the scalp of Forest, but got to be careful, there's more nearby. But Device there in support, going to find, pretty sure that was Rez, so now we're down to Exist and Drac, the last 2, to try and do some damage.
Looked like they were opting to save there. They just wanted to get back into City Spawn and go for exits together with those 2 pistols from range, but they weren't able to escape in time. And now Exist in the vent. He's going to find Glaive, who was chasing, pick up a UMP, but it appears they really want this frag. They want to take the armor away from him. They want to put NiP on a full eco, and Device is going to find him there in the end. And that is what you're going to see from NiP. They're going to have to take a full eco right now if they want to have anything going into the first gun round. Another force buy from them, not working out. And Astralis are looking pretty to make their way up to 10 rounds.
Certainly are. At the moment, if they keep NiP humble in these rounds as well, even when that buy comes in, you're going to be slightly limited. We'll see if that even becomes a factor at this point. It could completely change hands. It's still very much up in the air. This game's far from defined.
I pointed this out on Inferno, Lauren, that when you go for the force buy on the second round, come the first gun round, you're not going to have all that utility. And it's important on Inferno, it's important on Nuke. We could say it's important for every map to have the CT side utility because those Molotovs stop rushes. Those smokes make it so they have to run out without vision. You know, those are the utility you need to block off the choke points early and run down the clock, force the Ts to use their own to get back that map control or at least find a footing. And it looks like, you know, Astralis have a really good game plan. They had it on Inferno, and coming into this map, we're going to see next round if they have something similar. If they have an execute ready and raring to go, if they have a play that they want to pull out of the book. But Device is just farming away. He knows that there's 2 players in that warehouse. He's going to find one. He's going to find another. And there's the third.
Very crisp. Always good for an AWPer as well to get that money building up. Get him confident too. 4 kills. Could be eyeing up that AWP soon as you like. But let's look at Astralis, NiP and their money coming into this, because I am curious when they go for that buy, how many Molotovs can they get? How much can they really go for here? Where will they be lacking in this instance? Because the money is great, and look at that. Look at the disgracefully low amount of utility on that side, and going for head armor in this too.
The way to deal with this is an aggressive move, play together as a pack and try and find kills as a unit. Or use this AWP on Draken to find some entries, but the smoke wall's going to land outside. They're going to be sending Glaive across to get secret control. And from here, this has to force out a rotation. No utility for NiP means they have to play heads-up Counter-Strike. They have to be willing to take these fights. And Rez, he looks like the first point of contact as Glaive really wants to discover what's waiting for him.
Surprised if Glaive doesn't jump those stairs. It's actually Forest to find first contact. A little surprising. It looked like he was going to get it all, but Existence found an angle as well. And surprisingly enough, Astralis are struggling in this round. Even without that utility there, they didn't really have what it takes at the start, but they've evened it out already. So that could be now the problem. CT side always tricky to play on even numbers, but there's the man to just tilt it back around. Draken being the guardian of that ramp area, pushing up all the way through towards that further segment, leaving Glaive alive. And well, Glaive's pretty far away from all this. He was the one kind of tendering down towards lower, kind of working his way around, and probably quite frustrated this round's gone the way it has.
Now the CTs can all just regroup. They can hold that lobby control. The bomb is down. Glaive has a lot of work to do here with 35 seconds left on the clock. He's probably just going to opt to save. They are going to have enough money to buy next round, I believe. Should have heaps of money in the bank from all that farming we saw Device do. So yeah, they're not really too worried about, you know, taking this gun off of him. The CTs need it, whereas Glaive, he needs to consider finding some not exit frags, but frags to finish the round, and that's what he appears to be looking for. He hasn't just run into a corner to save the gun, but when he peeks his head out, Exister's ready, he'll take him down. And it's lucky for NiP that they had 3 survive, because now they can drop those 2 guns, and they might be able to get a little bit of utility going across the board.
Yeah, and this is the man who changed this round a little bit. Putting the bomb down in that position as well is just perfect. The next player to step back in trying to recover it doesn't work for Dupree. So good work from Draken there. So back in this, we do see the AWPs back on both sides. So still plenty of money with Astralis. It might look a little bit weaker after this round, depending on how it goes. But first opportunity missed by Draken, but it was a very slender one at that, bear in mind. I'm not going to be too worried about that being an issue, but Gerai now wondering what the hell is going on here, because Kiebi tries to go walkabout, maybe get some quick play towards that main section and doesn't get away with it this time. Zipnik's still here, and the rest of Astralis kind of been picked apart at the moment. They aren't particularly solid at this point. Up
to Sank a little bit quicker there, but NiP weren't having any of it. They were happy to poke out, take those frags, take those jewels, and that's turned out perfectly for them, but the top hit is coming in.
Get right, still maintaining that high ground, not letting it slip at all, but Dupree has waited so long for this to maybe work out. The smoke's still up, so he has a second to breathe, but as soon as that dissipates, it's game back on. There's 4 players alive for NiP, but he has got a bit of utility, got the armor, HP still good. But he doesn't have the bomb. First strike happens, Forest falls, but now 3 more is required. And look at these positions. Get Right's already worked his way through towards lobby, so it's going to be pretty tricky here, especially with that bomb in that situation. Dupree has to be so aware, so cautious of every single angle. And only 30 seconds now remain. I don't know how much chance he really has on his side, but he's trying everything he can. He's baiting out little bits and pieces, finding angles, and at the end he just finds a bullet to the brain from Rez. NiP, numbers starting to look far, far great for them. 3 alive again, you know, they're keeping numbers up. They want to drop it out. The money's not perfect yet, because they're still having to drop a couple of players, but they're getting rounds on the board, and you can see the money's been kind of whittled down now for Astralis.
Yeah, this is that financial question once again. Do you go for the buy to crush the economy of the CTs? And it looks like they're opting to go for a half buy with the pistols. The losing bonus is slowly building up. Means come next round, they should have enough money in the bank, and they must have an execute in mind, because they have, you know, the utility spread. People look like they've bought bare minimum for what they need for an execute, and as we see them setting up on the T roof, it looks like that's exactly what will be happening.
Smoke to Squeaky from Forest, and we wait to see what Astralis are doing, really. It's keep your eyes on when that utility flies, and Molly there. One on Dupree as well, and one on Zipnik's.
That one will land on the hut, and I believe the other one is to land on the yellow beam. And that'll force out any CTs who do love those little OP positions right there. And here, Squeaky Door is going to get blown open. Molotov is going to get thrown into Annex, and the hit is in.
Here we go. What room can NiP find to hold? There's that short smoke coming through to allow opportunity towards the vent, but that's not really the plan. That off-timing flash is beautiful. Forces exist off the angle, but they don't check it particularly, and the spray is great between him and Forest. Get Right joining in as well. They do the damage required, and they shut down the round. 3 alive. Bomb plant denied. NiP stride in the right direction now. 1 on the board, but that one was integral.
Execute was nice. I think the fact they didn't kill him on the rafter was a bit of a blunder, but it looked like their flight path wasn't actually to deal with with that player first. It was to get into the site, was to swarm the bomb box, and then from there deal with that position. Maybe if they had rifles in hand, they would have had a better chance, but right now they do. But they don't have the same amount of utility to pull off a similar execute. I think with lack of utility on dupreeh and Device, this is either going to have to be something very early, something quite aggressive, or they're going to have to wait out the utility, the early protocols of NiP, and go for something very late round.
Smokes towards Secret. Oh, these guys. Oh, yeah.
You love to see it.
You don't need to give him any more help, do you? You know what I mean? It's Forest. He's fine on his own. But the second kill for Get Right was great, just on the edge of that smoke. But he does give up his life for this one as we stare at his fallen body. 4v3, however, Astralis are struggling to make impact here. Or at least should I say clean impact. There's nothing that's untraded or uncontested. Kiebi and Device do finally break in towards that upper side. Molotovs go in. And finally maybe a bomb plant as well. This is good. And look at this damage coming through. The Molotovs burning. The kill for dupreeh. They actually retain control of the map. It feels like a bit of a lifetime in the making here this round. But can they keep back Forest and Draken in the end? Coming back through with the AWP still in play. Maybe a little bit tricky for him to make it work. And dupreeh playing the timing well. Ooh, Forest plays the shot off better though. 2v2 now, but the HP is low for Forest. I don't see this working out.
They have a lot of utility left this late in the round, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop him as Kirby peeking out from the side of the bomb box. Knows the last player is coming out of ladder. Whiffs, but he's going to finally find the frag there. I could just picture Draken doing a Superman move, no-scoping in midair and clutching the round. But Kirby, the hero, managing to put that one on the board for Astralis. And this is what we discussed. This is where you break the economy of NiP, and they've done just that. Get Right on 2,000. You've got Exist on 1,400. But weapons are being dropped around, and it looks like we'll want to buy back. They want to get in this as quickly as possible, and they want to stay on top of the economy themselves. It's always harder as the CT side because things cost a little bit more, but they've been very aggressive so far, the guys of NiP, and it looks like a top rush is coming out from Astralis.
Yeah, they know that the utility is going to be lacking, so why not go and pressure this? They know they've broken the money a fair amount. But a bit of a gamble, of course, to go for these sort of things. Always a little bit risky. You can't take all the factors into check, but for now, bomb plant is all you need. They've done everything required. Device goes hunting, and look at this guy.
They need to hunt.
Oh, dearie me. Look at Drake, and he's a little unawares. Device puts him out of his misery. No toying around.
Didn't knife him.
No.
Why not?
He's a serious gamer, Chad.
Huh. I would have liked to see the knife in that scenario. What could go wrong? The thing is, where
his back wasn't like fully open though. Like, how many times have you seen this game?
Why wouldn't you could crouch below his feet and go, you know, slash stab.
And you'd take that risk, would you?
I wouldn't, but he's Danish. We've seen Config do stuff like that before.
True. Very true.
So right now, in these late stages of the game, NiP's economy is broken to a point where, you know, realistically, if they take one eco, they're not going to have a lot of utility coming into the next gun round. So do they take the double? Should they have opted to buy in this one? These are the big question marks going around, and Thread has obviously given them their marching orders. They've opted to take the eco. It's going to give Astralis 13 rounds, and it is a CT-sided map, so not necessarily the worst call, but when you look at, you know, the number advantage of rounds on the board for Astralis, it feels like they're getting so close to closing this one out.
It does. And it's surprising because it did feel like NiP were in that driving seat quite substantially for a while, you know, consistently having 3 players alive, you know, looking pretty solid. But it does seem as though the answer's been found. But Exist is just, how is he here? Just having a lovely time. Just having a good time. I don't know if he's going to get anything out. I'd like to see him taking shots on the top of a ladder. You're a risky man, but I like it.
Oh.
And Device showing off the Tech 9. Apparently not completely useless these days.
Yeah, I think the players have probably overreacted a little bit and swung away from it, but they've all been using the CZ very, very efficiently, which means, hey, I don't actually mind the change, because the CZ, you only get $100 for a kill, right? So if it is more powerful than the Tech 9 and the 5.7, I'm happy with that because you get less of a kill reward, which means even if you're able to get 2 kills in a round, it's not like you're getting a huge amount of money in the bank. If you're able to get it and save a weapon, props to you, but I still think the Tech 9 and the 5.7 are going to have a place in the game. People just need to kind of swing back over. As we get into this gun round, once more, utility is the hot topic.
Yeah, only one Molotov, speaking of things that might be hot in this, and that's going to already be put into play. So NiP working with less than they'd want, but they still make it count. No fast rushers come through yet, so they're okay. They've maintained, and that's all you can really ask for. Now it comes into the real meat of the round, and Get Right unable to see obviously through the smoke, but he reads it well. I don't know if there was a gap in the smoke on his screen, or he just timed it. Maybe the sound gave it away. Zipnik's, though, going to find the reply instantly. We're back down to this 4v4. Ramp control being exuded from Astralis. Glaive's trying to work yard as well. He's going to have a little bit of a linger in. And with Device in these sort of spots, it's so hard to see a way for NiP to kind of fight their way back through here.
The problem is the CTs have been doing a lot of over-rotating on both sides so far. So once the Ts have taken the map control, they kind of just post up and find the CTs as they're looking for information or getting caught out of position. Glaive's spot on the map right here in Mini is going to be very integral because if they do decide to do a top hit, he can pounce out at any time and catch the CTs off guard. But as I say that, Exist is going to find Zipnix. Glaive, there he is, striking. So we have a 3-on-3 once more.
And that's lovely. Good little shoulder peek as well. Forrest's position now noted, but how do they get past it? You don't. Forrest is there. He sprays wildly towards Glaive, but this 1v2, I don't see it happening. It looked likely for a second. Draken was 1 HP, but at the end of the day, that one spot coming in from Forrest might have just bailed them out of what could have been it, pretty much. It could have all been over at that point. Still good money on Astralis, so they can buy into this one, and money's being scraped together for NiP. They've still got enough for a buy, but it's far from perfect.
I'm liking the ramp progression we're seeing coming out from both teams, you know, pouncing through smokes, taking that duel and trading, or at least taking down the CT very efficiently. Ramp is a point of the map here that, you know, can definitely be exploited if you know the timings, you know the tendencies of the players that like to play it. But once more, these outsmokes are coming in. We've got Glaive as the entry man. They want to get him across, get him as much information as possible, and from there, he can make a mid-round call for his team as the in-game leader.
See Geralt trying to just somehow get a connection. Last time it worked, so you can't really blame him on this, but the flashes are coming through pretty thick and fast, but there is still support. There's still, you know, the fallback plan, the kind of redundancy plan that will be down below. So no one's actually snuck through there yet, but you've got to be a little careful. You don't want to allow that to possibly happen. But how did NiP respond here? They've been given limited amounts to work with, but Device for Astralis eyeing up that outer yard area. Get Right holding a pretty deep angle now as well. Swings out, having a little look towards those upper rafters. High flash comes through, he turns it. But he hasn't been able to see these Astralis players yet. There's still 3 out there. So again, plenty of threat on board here, but Forrest has found room to move. That's great from him. The bomb's still tucked around the corner, so he doesn't get the full picture, but that's more than enough. And Get Right even finding Kiebi. This is beautiful between those two, giving Astralis just enough rope to pretty much do it for themselves.
Interesting to see if they can find a way in this round. Get Right lurking around the box. He's going to step out, take down Device. He knows there's another one nearby, but Glaive, he's going to trade out efficiently. And now it slows down once more. 25 seconds on the clock. If Astralis want to go for this, they have to make a move and they have to be fast. And topside looks like it's on the cards. Dupree's throwing out the smoke. He's trickled it through and he wants to drop down the vent. And away he goes.
Yep. Rez is down there waiting though, ever so patiently. Not going to move a muscle. And Glaive now, it's your turn to run the gauntlet. See if you do any better. Has a little bit of a look.
Doesn't have time to plant.
No. How much no, not at all. Not even close. 2 seconds when he eventually dropped to the floor. You do get away with that sometimes, like 3 point something. Sometimes it looks a little bit too close, but not that time. Nowhere near. 13-13, we're tied up all even. Chad, are we going OT?
OT. I think, you know, it's probably still too early to call, Lauren. I don't want to be a pessimist in that regard, but I think, you know, if we see Astralis taking an eco off the back of this AK of Glaive, they might be able to get some work done and then go into a full gun round next round. That's what I think would be the smartest option. Giving this round to NiP without trying to inflict damage, they can upgrade a couple of pistols, right? They can try and take as many guns away from NiP as they can, as possible, which is going to still hurt their economy because we're only seeing 1,200 on Get Right, 850 on Forest. Exist has 50, Drake it down to 0 and Rez on 50 as well. So any kills they can get in this round is huge and could definitely pivot the game in the favor of Astralis. But NiP looking good. They've been able to string 2 rounds together. It's a 4-spy.
That will be fun. Okay, so what did they get out of this? UMP on Zipnix, you got 2 rifles, Kiebi and Glaive being given those. Device and Dupree left with the pistols here and a bit of utility too. So maybe a set piece, maybe something. I'm curious to see what we get out of this one actually. It's going to be very hard for them to work a way into it, but again, looking at the players towards ramp, a little bit of pressure building towards there early. Forest now going to head down towards events, maybe pay a bit more attention to lower because there was a chance that someone slipped through and they have. That being Glaive, this could be a threat. Now, Glaive being the one with the rifle, he needs to strike and he does. Good work, but Forest is there. So there's that safety net, there's that support system in place. Down to a 4v4, but was this all a ruse? Where's the rest of that Astralis team?
The opening was really good. It gives Astralis an idea that 2 players were forced to rotate, so they can pick either topside or ramp and go as a unit. But happy with the default spread for now. It is going to be the topside attack. Exists with the information. He has to drop back quickly, but Dupree is going to find him as the rotation comes in.
Oh, that could have been it. Kiebi could have put the nail in the coffin, but no. Leaving a little bit of a window of chance here now with NiP. Bomb to be planted. Exist already found. It's down to just Device. Xyp9x up against... Oh, hello, Xyp9x. What is that shot? Just as Draken tries to back away from this, leaving it in Forrest's hands, and he's so low, but he's so close yet so far. Xyp9x finally stems the bleed and puts Astralis back in the lead, not allowing NiP to go toe-for-toe in this one. And look at the money situation. You said they were down to very little even that last round, and now they're suffering.
This is a bit like Wall Street during 2008, and this will be the last timeout, I believe, for... oh, no, it's Astralis taking the timeout. I thought it would have been NiP taking the last one. When they found themselves in these dire situations economically, they've always opted for the pause. Here it appears to be Astralis. Maybe they're really nutting out what the best strategy, what the best plan of attack is in this scenario. Maybe they can go for one of those set pieces we saw them use before, because they must know that NiP's money is on the brink.
This is such a tentative moment between both teams, and it does feel quite scrappy. What do you think's been working every now and then for Astralis, and then back and forth for NiP? What have been the kind of like defining factors for both teams? Glaive
has been doing a lot of work on this T side, getting those entry frags. Like, he hasn't always had success going down secret, but at least he's pulling the rotations, and that is one of the main points of this map. If he can continue to do that, if he can continue to find frags, the openings they need, it allows other players on Astralis a chance to find a bit of room, something to work with, to find those frags in rotation. And they have opted for the force spike. So this is an all or nothing play by NiP right here. This is do or die.
All right, let's see what you got, NiP. Lots of players towards upper 3 plays, very quickly getting quite close by, but actually tell a lie, Garrett's going to slip down the vents and get away. Just going to sit there as the shark lurking from below. Rez spotting out. It might have seen someone then just on the radar as well. Caught maybe the end of dupreeh, but for now, dupreeh waits, and he's looking for his opportunity to get into this, but that very limited amount of utility has almost all been played now by NiP. One flash left on Forest, and that's it.
NiP kind of just have to sit and wait here. They don't have anything to make a push happen, unless Forest wants to flash into Squeaky Door and take it on his own, but the weapons they have in hand are not fantastic. Obviously, the CZs are getting a bit of a resurgence lately. UMP has seemed overpowered for the last couple of months, but it's definitely not anything against AKs and AWPs.
No. But Astralis have also expired the vast majority of their utility too, so it's going to be a bit of a dry round towards the end. Rez going to back away, give up some of ramp control and just fall off. He can't challenge, he only has that CZ. So Draken now looking to see if they're going to push through towards Crows, or if it is going to be that ramp to lower hit. And it does seem as though that's the case. Rez going to play out dark. He does do damage, but damage isn't quite enough at this point. Get Right tries to play in with that UMP to hand, and Xyp9x just overpowers him. It's Exist now trying to make the odds, try and make a difference. Just gets pushed over on the stairs by Xyp9x. It's all looking good for him. Forest and Draken, your last two to try and make it count this round, to keep it back at an all-even number. Forest will find dupreeh, so that's a rifle recover. That can go over to Draken if he fancies it, or maybe just back away. Yeah, there's nothing else to be done here.
Throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Astralis there with that kind of buy, but it just wasn't to be. They played as a team. They went 5-man ramps. They traded efficiently. They weeded out any possible CTs who were hiding in those close choke points, and managed to get the bomb down with ease. And from here, you know, they only have 3 players alive, but if they can get away with those guns, if they can not die while exiting, then Astralis are still in the weapon advantage going into what it could potentially be the last round, Lauren.
How much damage do you take? Any? None. Okay. So Glaive, Kiebi, Device do stay alive. Forest and Draken as well for the other side, but look at that money for NiP. It's so bad. Yeah,
Xyp9x had enough to buy himself. A gun will have to be dropped across to dupreeh. But there's no dramas on the Astralis side. Their accountants balance the books a little bit better than NiP's, and they're just going to have another mix by UMP. They have the saved AK, Deagle, CZ. Not a lot to work with. A little bit of utility, but heroics are going to have to come out here. Someone is going to have to step up for NiP and make an individual play.
There's been plenty of players ready for that challenge. They've certainly delivered a couple of times. Maybe this might be that step too far. Already you can see Get Right getting the information towards outside. He's working it out. Going to try and flash himself into this, but a pretty tricky situation to work his way out of. Astralis already going to try and exude that control towards the outer yard and start to really pressure. Deep flash comes in. dupreeh doesn't need it. Get Right gets swept aside, and 5 now stand to the 4. As NiP try and dig their heels in, but an unlikely situation for them to try and win.
Once again, NiP either have to make an aggressive move as a team to equalize, and you can see Draken right now going for that ramp push. We saw it successful before with the AWP, but this time he doesn't have that weapon in hand. He only has himself a Deagle. Can probably use it like one, but the T's, they're in full control. They're just waiting out these rotations. They still have a lot of utility. Whatever decision they make mid to late round, they're all... There, I said it. There's the Deagle. There's the headshot. He's going to even this one up.
Now, let's see where Astralis go here off the back of that. Where do they try and play to? You can see NiP, even though they have lost a fair amount of the map control, they seem so aware of where the threats then stand. Eye up towards Crows and the Rafters play. Kiebi, if he crests that corner, you know you're kind of in a little bit of trouble. And actually, he's going to try and take the fight. He wins it as well. Forest maybe laying down his guard for a second. And Device as well to find another. This is down to 2. NiP clutching at straws here. Astralis holding every single card in this matchup now. As Draken and Rez, the 2 new additions, have to put up the numbers to try and save their side. And they're doing it. 2 kills back to back. No bomb plant yet. 10 seconds remain. This could all go a little bit wrong here.
This late going awry could be terrible for Astralis. That nade is going to land. Stuck alone is Glaive. 2-on-1 situation. He knows where they are. He's going to find one. And Draken through the middle of the bomb box. Going to find the headshot onto Glaive. Going to pick up the round and put NiP 1 round closer from taking us to overtime.
And 4 kills off the back of just that deagle. It opened up, they made it work, and that's something you felt that you didn't have with NiP for a while. Those kind of game changers, even though you had Get Right in there, you had Forest, it didn't feel like they had that little bit of fire. Now they do. Now they've got it coming in droves at this point. But now looking at both teams, Money's in that really weird state of flux, isn't it? For such an integral round, 14-15. So the buy comes in for NiP, looking at it so far. A couple of UMPs, but good utility, rifles, AWP. On the other side, it's almost mirrored here.
Rush top. That'd be the Glaive call, you know. We've seen him have those decisions time and time again, but they're opting once more for the smoke wall outside. They have had success playing the rotations. If they go as a unit, if they go as a 5-man down secret here, I think they'll be able to pick up any rotations from NiP and really just cascade onto that bomb site quite quickly, finding those after plant positions, but being a bit slowed by this Molotov that's landed in front of them. They still want to go. They still want to make their way down secret.
Yeah, and you can see that sport time for Get Right to go through the vents, get all the way down towards the bottom of secret, and wait for Astralis. Now, let's see if they actually go for this off the back of it. Again, they're making plenty of noise, plenty of step. That flash will give away the position, but it's Draken to find Dupree. That's big. Get Right now falls back a little, finds a new spot to wait in. Oh, that's a little keen from Get Right. Have a little look at that spot from him if we can. It's a little jump peak that he's just having just a pixel peek from, which you should be able to see now. And then he falls off, it plays in on the flash, and this could be huge. No, he just blinds him up and falls off again. So well mannered from the NiP side, but they do lose out on one. Exist going down, brings it to this 4v4, and now we wait to see if Astralis can make this hit count. 50 seconds. They're close. There's no cigar without that bomb plant and all the kills to come in, so there's plenty to be done just yet. Kiebi finds Draken. Get Right still waits with Rez. That's great from them to find Kiebi. This 3v3 is getting pretty tricky for Astralis. Get Right's not letting him get away with anything. Xyp9x, you can see the fire coming in from below him. He's looking for the opportunity to try and turn the tides, but Device is the one to do it first. Where's that bomb now? It's with Glaive, and he's going to find Forest. It's down to just one man for NiP, Rez. And 1v3, not looking so likely, but where is he and how can he play this out? Well, a swift answer and a likely answer is he can't. Xyp9x, who was there, gets the job done. And it will be Astralis with a 2-0. A close game, though.
Chaos towards the end there. That was insane. You know, it was a battle of economy for a lot of that match. Finally, you know, it looked like Astralis had broken it there on top. Heroics from Draken almost took us to overtime there, but Astralis were able to steady the ship and get the victory in the end.
Yeah, plenty to be said about this one, I can imagine. It was very hectic, so I'm curious to see how the desk kind of breaks this down into, you know, manageable pieces. So, guys on the desk, what are you thinking about this one? It was a bit hectic, bit back and forth. These rounds were certainly not so clean as I'd hoped for, but an interesting affair, I can imagine.
Yes, indeed, most certainly. Towards the start, we did see Astralis in the driving seat, but moving further throughout that game, NiP did draw it up. Unfortunately, could not clutch it out at the end, and well, lightning does strike twice for Astralis. They claim the victory so close to overtime, gents. As Pansy said, very, very back and forth.
Yeah, I think a couple of conclusions you can draw from what happened in that game is, first of all, CT rotations are super tough on Nuke, even though it's a CT-sided map. If you're good at T-side playing around, and on the other hand, if there's any confusion in how the CTs rotate, things will look a little bit ugly. At the same time, you see, for example, in the last round, even though it went the way of Astralis, if you decide to go on that lower bomb side, it's so hard when you don't have a lot of utility to work with, because there's so many avenues CTs can come through. There's so many crossfires happening. So those are the two conclusions I drew out of it.
Yeah, and that's why you have teams early on their T sides go towards that lower bomb side, because you want to figure out those rotations. Once the CTs lose control control of yard, once they lose control of secret, which player goes towards the lower bomb site? Is it the guy holding ramp? Is it the guy holding yard? Is it the guy holding upper bomb site? And then when you know that, you can play around it later on in the half, right? You can go for fakes, you can go for splits towards the upper bomb site. I think seeing as how the game was very, very close, obviously, you feel bad for NiP not being able to win a pistol round at all. Both halves started off 3-0, 4-0 in the first half, but that's why they did a great job recovering, right? It's very difficult to do so when you have a bad start. Some clutches went their way, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of called it perfectly at the end there. We saw it right at the start, the backs were up against the wall. I mean, Astralis, they just had full control. They kept pushing them over and over again. But they did manage to at least bounce back a little bit. If there are a few things you could have done better, just a few tiny little things from NiP that could have improved on to kind of win that one out, where do you think those problems, those little fixes lie?
Pistol round. No, honestly, it is. Get a better start, then you get your economy rolling, you set the tone early on, and then that's where, I mean, it's a 16-14 game, right? So it would help tremendously.
Yeah, and I think in general, but on Nuke as well, they need to work on their CT sides a little bit. They have, seems like, you know, once whether threat or exist, I think it's threat, devises a game plan, and they have these executes and set pieces they work on. When they go for those, you know, things work out. Everyone knows what they're doing. They know what they need to keep an eye out for. The use of utility is great, but on the CT side, when it comes down more to, you know, getting the reads, adjusting mid-round, having good individual plays as well in terms of decision making, that's where they still struggle a little bit.
Yeah, that's something to be expected in the sense that they have two relatively new players on the team, and a lot of that, even though there's certain protocols you set on the team and how do we rotate and stuff like that, there's still individual preference. There's some individual decision making to happen in those situations that may cause a bit of confusion. So,
well, there you have it then. Our first two maps are all said and done. Two best of ones out of the way. We are moving into another two. When we return after the break, it's going to be Team Envious taking on Godsend.